The notion that the mainstream media uses climate change to oppress Christians is a narrative that has gained traction in some circles, particularly among conservative and evangelical groups. This idea suggests that the media's coverage of climate change is not only biased, but also intentionally aimed at undermining Christian values and beliefs. While this claim may seem far-fetched to some, it is essential to examine the underlying arguments and evidence to understand the complexities of this issue. One of the primary concerns voiced by critics is that the media's emphasis on climate change is often accompanied by a secular and liberal worldview that contradicts Christian teachings. For instance, some Christians believe that the Bible teaches stewardship of the earth, but not to the extent of prioritizing environmental concerns over human needs. The media's focus on climate change, in this view, is seen as an attempt to supplant traditional Christian values with a more progressive and environmentalist agenda. This perceived bias is thought to be particularly pronounced in the way that climate change is often framed as a moral imperative, with those who deny or downplay its significance being cast as irresponsible or even immoral. Another argument made by those who believe that the media uses climate change to oppress Christians is that the issue is often used to justify policies and regulations that infringe upon individual freedoms and religious liberties. For example, some Christians may oppose certain climate change mitigation strategies, such as restrictions on fossil fuel use or the promotion of renewable energy sources, on the grounds that they are overly burdensome or infringe upon their right to pursue economic opportunities. The media's failure to adequately represent these perspectives, it is argued, constitutes a form of oppression, as it marginalizes and dismisses the concerns of Christians who hold differing views on climate change. Furthermore, some critics contend that the media's coverage of climate change is often infused with a kind of eco-spirituality that is at odds with traditional Christian theology. This eco-spirituality, which emphasizes the sacredness of the natural world and the interconnectedness of all living beings, is seen as a form of paganism or pantheism that undermines the central tenets of Christianity. The media's promotion of this eco-spirituality, in this view, is a form of cultural imperialism, whereby a secular and environmentalist worldview is imposed upon a predominantly Christian population. However, it is essential to note that these claims are not universally accepted and are often based on a fault understanding of the relationship between Christianity and environmentalism. Many Christians, in fact, believe that caring for the environment is a fundamental aspect of their faith, and that climate change poses a significant threat to human well-being and the integrity of creation. The media's coverage of climate change, in this view, is not an attempt to oppress Christians but rather a reflection of the broad consensus among scientists, policymakers, and people of faith that urgent action is needed to mitigate its effects. In conclusion, while the idea that the mainstream media uses climate change to oppress Christians is a narrative that resonates with some, it is essential to approach this claim with a critical and nuanced perspective. The relationship between Christianity and environmentalism is complex and multifaceted, and the media's coverage of climate change reflects a broad range of viewpoints and values. Rather than perpetuating a narrative of oppression, it is crucial to engage in constructive dialogue and debate, recognizing that Christians, like people of all faiths and backgrounds, have a vital role to play in addressing the urgent challenges posed by climate change. By fostering a more inclusive and respectful conversation, we can work towards a deeper understanding of the complex issues at stake and build a more just and sustainable future for all.